Welcome to another video by SH.21. In this video we're going to be looking at the tuning of the SH.21 engine in the Nanda NB5 racing buggy. This is a 1/8 scale buggy using the SH.21 engine. It's more of a sort of entry level priced and designed buggy more than the Hyper 7 TQ2 which we've just been working with. So therefore I would expect it to be reasonably easy to tune. From past experience, the SH.21 engines are very easy to tune, and in my previous video I've worked with a few of these engines. It was in the Acme Barbarian NXL, it was in the Turnigy Rumble, I've had SH.18 engines in the FTX Carnage, in the HSP Camper. I've worked with loads and loads of these engines. I even fitted one optionally to my HSP Bug Crusher many years ago. So they are really nice engines to work with. So in this video we're just going to cover the tuning basics, what you guys need to know when you're tuning your nitro engines for the very first time. So first off, tuning should only be done once the engine is fully broken in. You don't want to be leaning the engine out or maximising performance before you've fully broken in the engine. So let's just take a look at the carburetor. The only needle we're going to be worrying about in this video, and the only one you should need to adjust, is the high speed needle, which is this one here. It's easily identifiable by the shiny brass tube here, and this little flat end screw is the one on the end, the one that you're going to be wanting to adjust. So the high speed needle controls the fuel and air mixture from partial to full throttle. So what I mean by partial is up until sort of this point it's your low speed needle taking control of the fuel, and then from this point onwards it's your high speed needle that's going to be taking control of your air and fuel mixture. So this needle, when it's opened counterclockwise, you're going to be increasing the amount of fuel into the engine. When you're turning it clockwise, you are decreasing the amount of fuel into the engine. One vital thing to remember is that nitro engines do not have a sump like the cars do. Therefore, the engine is 100% relying on the fuel to get its lubrication. So essentially, by leaning and richening the engine, you're deciding how much lubrication your engine is getting. And so that's very important that we don't get it wrong. If you run it too lean, then you're going to wear your engine out very quickly, you're going to burn your glow plug out, it's going to overheat. If you run it too rich, you're going to get rubbish performance out of it, you're going to burn your glow plug out, and you're going to use loads and loads of fuel up. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run through the basics of tuning the engine, particularly the high speed needle. The low speed needle, do not touch it if everything's all good. What you need to do is first fill your fuel tank. Tuning really, you just want to fill it with one tank. By the end of the tank you should have it tuned up. It's not something that's going to take you loads and loads of time. So I'm just going to fill it with the fuel. At this moment in time, if you've been using a lower percentage nitro for braking in purposes, then you need to switch to the nitro that you plan to stick to. I'm going to be using OptiFuel 25%. This is the fuel I'm going to tune it to. If we tune it on 20%, then we fill it with 25, the engine is going to behave very differently, and we've just wasted our time tuning it. So I'm just going to turn the radio on, turn the receiver on, and just check the throttle movement. You should do this every time before you go to start your engine. Block the exhaust and pull the pull start. This is just going to prime the engine and get some fuel through. So first things first, I'm just going to start the engine. I've changed the glow plug, a new glow plug after the break-in. I'm going to start the engine and I'm just going to run it up and down to warm up the engine. All tuning needs to be done on a warm engine. So let's do that. As you can see, it's running very rich. There's lots and lots of smoke. And quite frankly, rubbish performance. So once the engine is warmed up, I'm going to bring it back over, I'm going to grab my flat end tuning screwdriver, and we will start to adjust the high speed needle. Again, it's still got a little way to go, but you can see just after 1/8 of a turn adjustment, the improvement. And this is how you tune your high-speed needle. You just do very, very small 1/8 of a turn adjustments at a time. Let's bring it back and do it another one. Lean the engine a little bit more. If anything, it's probably still running a little bit rich. I'm going to leave it a little bit rich just because it's still a new engine. So let's bring it back and just talk about what we've done. Just to conclude this video has been looking at the high-speed needle tuning. To summarise, what we did is we started up the engine and we warmed the engine up. You always adjust a warm engine, never a cold one. We filled up the tank and we started the engine. Then I've driven it up and down just to observe the performance. And then what we've done is we've leaned out, that means more air and less fuel. We've leaned out this needle just a little bit, just 1/8 of a turn at a time. Any major adjustments at a time are gonna not do very well at all. You're gonna adjust it too much and then you would have gone past the optimum setting. We've adjusted it 1/8 of a turn at a time, then we've gone up and down again just to observe the increased performance. When it's reached a point where I'm thinking, yep, that's good, I've stopped adjusting the needle, and then that is what I would call the optimum tuning setting. If you have just broken in your engine, I would advise leaving it a little bit on the rich side. When we first started up, it was very, very rich. Now it's not quite so rich. That's exactly what we're looking for. A little bit rich just because it's still a new engine, and that will just help to keep it lubricated whilst it's still a new engine. The only other thing I'm going to mention is the idle speed screw. The idle speed screw controls the idlings, how much your engine is running at when you're not applying any throttle. So the idle speed screw controls what RPM your engine sits at whilst it is in this state, whilst I'm not applying any throttle at all. The idle speed screw on your engine, on this SH.21 engine, is located just in here. So it's just below the high speed needle, just near the flywheel. What you can do with this is if you find that the engine is running very, very low and cuts out when you hit the brakes, turn this one clockwise a little bit, that will increase your RPMs. If it's running away with itself and you start it up and it's going like this, then you need to decrease it and then turn it counterclockwise a little bit. I hope this video has been helpful. As I say, there are loads of other tuning videos on these SH engines, including the one on the SH.21 engine, exactly the same engine, just in a different car, in the Turnigy Rumble. Check out that video. There might be things there I did 4 years ago that perhaps I've missed now. Thank you very much for watching, and more videos are coming soon. If there's anything else you'd like to know, please leave a message below and I will do my best to get back to you. Thank you.